Base your answers to questions 61 and 62 on the information below and on your knowledge of biology. So, evolution leads to changes in how frequently certain traits appear in a population. Explain the importance of the presence of variations within a population. And then, describe how the process of natural selection can result in an increase in frequencies of certain traits found in a population. So for this one, they're really using a callback to our whole peppered moth situation. So if you remember, the variations with the peppered moth were that they were either a dark color or a light color. And normally, the light-colored moths were pretty numerous, and the dark-colored moths just happened once in a while, but there was a variation that was present. Once the Industrial Revolution happened, though, everything got covered in soot, and having a dark color was an advantage suddenly, so that created a selective pressure against the light color, and the light color moths started to get eaten, whereas the dark-colored moths were not eaten as frequently. And then a reversal happened. We passed laws that regulated the emissions. The soot kind of started washing away with the rain. The trees became cleaner, and then all of a sudden the environment was more beneficial to the moths with a lighter color again. So if there were not variations between the light and the dark color, that moth, the peppered moth, may have just become extinct during the Industrial Revolution. Because if there were no dark-colored individuals to carry on their traits into the future, that moth may have just disappeared altogether. And luckily, they hung on to some of their light-colored ancestry as well, so when the situation reversed, they were able to adapt. So, saying all that, let's take a look at how our answer key says we should answer these questions. So question 61, we've got that more variation will increase the chances that some members of a population will survive in a changing environment. Changing environment's the key word here. So again, we need variations when selection in the environment changes. Here we've got the population might not survive a changing environment without those differences. And then in terms of how does this fit into natural selection, that's when your environment changes. So we've got individuals with favorable traits usually survive. They pass those traits on to the next generation. As a result of natural selection, the number of individuals with favorable traits increases, or the fittest will survive, causing an increase in frequency of favorable traits. So it's all about how is your environment changing? How do the traits that you have help you survive in that changing environment? So that is questions 61 and 62.